Hey, what's up guys, it's CrunchyCook here and welcome on back to a brand new tutorial, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to make a vault system. And this is an infinite vault system, so it will never go away and you'll have infinite vaults. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, I would show you guys the whole vault system, but I kind of want to show you the commands first, because when I press this button it will remove this whole thing, so I want to show you the whole thing first. So obviously, first thing you're going to want to do is make like a hallway or like a whatever you want, and then you're going to want to have your vaults on the side of the thing. Now I have two vaults and they're pretty small, but they're vaults, you know, and they're on the side over here. You have your exit button. You're going to want to have an exit button so people can actually leave. I have an armor stand, some chests, and a bed for people to set their spawn points if they want to go to their vault using the end. But we also have a TP system in place, so they don't have to use the end and they just have to press a button, and hopefully they'll know which one is their vault by just pressing the button. I mean, I think they can actually just press the button on any one of them and it will TP you to your vault, but you just have to be near your vault for it to TP you, so, you know, just memorize it, I guess. But essentially when you press this button it will check if you have 1,000 cash or whatever, and it will assign you this vault, which is quite nice. And so the commands I have set up for it down here are basically, the first one is TPing you facing this. So what's it gonna do is it's gonna TP you here on this block facing this direction. Now you don't want to use specific coordinates, otherwise that will just like mess the whole thing up. So you're gonna want to do the squiggly line thingy. For me, it was -1 on the x coordinate and y value is 0.5. You're gonna want to do 0.5 for your y coordinate either way, and then you're gonna want to do facing, and then the opposite of whatever number your x coordinate was. For me, it'd be +1, and then 0.5 for the y value, and that will TP me right here facing this direction. And you're going to want to do the same for this side, by the way, but like the opposite, you're going to do the opposite. So it was -1 for the starting one, but now it's +1, and it used to be +1, but now it's -1 on the end for facing the direction. And the ones on the bottom are the same for both sides. You're testing for, well, you're not testing for, you're tagging the player that doesn't have the tag vault by, and then you're gonna add by vault. And this is basically to prevent players from buying a second vault, because when you buy a vault you'll be tagged, and that means you have a vault, but you only have a vault. You can't buy a second one, okay? So that's just put in place so players don't, you know, buy multiple vaults and just like break the whole system. So also, yeah, the structure block. So you're going to want to set up a structure block for the whole thing, and place an armor stand in one of the corners. Call it whatever you want. I called it vault dupe. The reason why we call it vault dupe is because it's going to duplicate the vaults, and it's going to like keep doing that over and over again. One thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up a scoreboard, and you're going to want to name this scoreboard whatever you want. I called it vaults. You can name it whatever you want. And yeah, so after creating your scoreboard vaults, you're going to want to add a person to that vault, and that person you're going to want to add is VC, and that means vault count. And then you're going to do vaults, and then whatever, 0 or something like that. And once you add this person, it's not a player, it's an entity that you created. It's like a non-player or non-entity person. It's just a scoreboard player, if that makes any sense. And you're going to want to add that guy in there. It's just for like, it's for the vault count. Also for the structure block, I have it on -1. It's because there's two command blocks. You have the first command block, which is here, which is fine, but there's one underground, so you're going to want to do -1 so it gets placed here. You can obviously just set up the structure block down below, but I didn't do that, so I just made it -1. And yeah, I will have the world download in the description, guys. So if you want the world, you can just go in the description, download it, and you can check out all the commands for yourself. You can maybe even structure block all this for yourself, so you don't have to like actually work for it or like follow this tutorial. But anyways, guys, let's just get into the tutorial, I guess. So that was the basics right there. just getting the whole like structure blocks done, vault dupe as well, all that stuff. And now you're going to want to also set up another structure block, and this structure block I call vault buy. You can name it whatever you want. This is just basically after you bought a vault, this is what it will look like. So it looks like a gold block right now, but I changed it to a what's it called, smooth stone block. You can change it to whatever you want. And then underneath this is this command. So what this command does is it tests for if an armor stand with the name vault has the same score of vaults as you, and if it does, it TPs you to that vault. And the tag here, which is by vault, the reason why I put that there is because it would TP you instantly to your vault, but it still does that either way, so it doesn't really matter. You can have that in there, or if you can have that inside of your command if you want, but it doesn't really make any difference. And so you're going to want to have that in there, and you're going to want to save it as a structure block. The next command here is going to basically do is scoreboard players add at a cache 0. You're also going to want to set up a cache scoreboard. Whatever your scoreboard for cache was, you're going to want to set it up like that. The next command above it is a chain command, and essentially what this is doing is if you're near an armor stand that is named vault, it is going to TP you -4 blocks down. Now this varies because it depends on how far your roof is. Like if your roof is giant and like 20 blocks tall, you're gonna want to set up like a you're gonna want to set it up to be like -19 or something like that. So whatever, it depends on the size of your roof. You're just gonna have to test it out. Like it's just testing, I guess. So this next command is gonna add at E, type equals armor stand, name equals vault 0. So that's just making all the armor stands with the name vault to add vault 0. And then this next command is basically testing for if an armor stand has if an armor stand with the name vault has a score of 0 with vaults, and if they do, it will equal VC vaults. Now essentially what that does is it basically copies whatever the VC is. And so the reason why we have that is because when you buy your vault, it will add 1 to the VC, and this is basically like an ID system for the armor stands and all that, and it will add 1 to the VC, and it will copy that with the armor stand, and also it will copy you the player will copy the VC, so whatever number it was, it will give that to the player. It all makes sense when I go through this command right here. And so essentially this command right here is going to be basically testing for if a player has the tag by vault, and if they have a score of cache 0.999, this is just testing for if the player does not have enough cache to buy the vault, and if they do, it will do this. It will run this command, which is a tell raw as raw text, and then it has like insufficient funds. You can copy this all down if you want, do whatever you need with it. The next command right here is going to be the same thing, except we've changed the tell raw to a play sound and then note.base at s. And so basically that's all you need for testing for if the player does not have enough cash on them to buy the vault. The next command is testing for if you do have enough cash, and if you do, it will do the opposite of what the other tell raw did, and it will say vault purchased. You can just pause the screen right now. You can copy this down if you need to be, or whatever. The next command is going to be the same command, except we changed the tell raw to a play sound command, and it's going to do random.levelup at s, and that's just making a little like, ooh, wow, you bought the vault sound effect, you know. The next command is going to test for if you have the tag by vault and have enough cash to buy the vault, and it's going to run /scoreboard players add VC vaults 1. Now that is what I was saying when vaults. The VC was going to get added by 1, and it was going to copy whatever the VC was with the armor stand. So now, after all that, it's going to do this one, which is going to summon an armor stand for the player, in front of the player. Whoever bought the vault, it will summon an armor stand named Vault, facing the direction of the player 5 blocks up. This is the same thing with the TP thing. It varies. It depends on the height of your roof and all that stuff, and how far your vault is going to be. So basically, your player is right now facing this direction, and an armor stand is going to get summoned. Boom, boom. 1, 2 blocks forward, and then it's gonna get TP'd 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now it will be floating, so the armor stand gets summoned right here, but it will drop down. It doesn't really matter how high it goes. You can do like 10 or something like that. But I did 5, and so after summoning the armor stand, you're gonna want to do this command, which is basically the same thing at the start, but now you have this scoreboard command, which is gonna do /scoreboard players operation @s vault equal VC vaults. And basically what this means is it will copy whatever the scoreboard of VC is and give it to you as the player. This is the thing I was saying again back down there. It will copy it, and it's basically like an ID system. This next command is gonna do is basically wherever the player is, it will set a block above you on your head to air. And the reason why we do this is we're getting rid of this sign right here, and it gets removed, so there is no sign anywhere. And so the next command after that is gonna be the vault by structure block, which we already did. So we're gonna do /structure load vault by, and these little arrows going upwards, and then you're gonna want to do -1 and then 1, and this is basically setting whatever is in front of you -1 blocks down, and it's gonna structure block this right here, and that's pretty cool because that's the TP system right there. And so now after that, what we're gonna do is a pretty big command right here. It's gonna do /scoreboard players add @e type equals armor stand name equals vault dupe and then vaults 1. What this is doing is whatever armor stand, which is this one right here, vault dupe, and it will add 1 scoreboard to vaults for it. And basically when both of these vaults have been bought, this armor stand will now have a score of 2 on the vaults, and when it detects that, it will duplicate this hallway, and it will also kill this armor stand, and because it's in the structure block, it'll get cloned, and it will now have a score of 0, and so that's pretty cool. And so I'll actually show you what that duplicating commands are, and it's right over here. The reason why I have it over here is because last time I tried to do a vault, it broke the whole command thing, and it was very annoying, and I'm assuming it's because of these commands. That's why I always have them really far away from these commands. You don't have to. You can place them right next to each other. Doesn't matter. This is a repeating always active command with a delay tick of 20, and the execute on first tick is turned off. And then inside this command, it is going to detect if an armor stand named vault dupe has a score of vaults to ... and if they do, it's going to run a structure load vault and then -1. Now what the heck is vault? What structure block is that? It's this structure block. So you're going to have to structure block your 2 vaults and a hallway. And the hallway you're going to want to do at the end is an ending hallway, so it always ends and never continues with like a gap in it or whatever, if that makes any sense. And so it's going to duplicate those 2 things, and then after it, it's just going to kill the armor stand like I said before. The next command is going to be basically adding the tag vault by. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. The next command is going to be a chain conditional always active command. The reason why we have the conditional is because if you somehow get the by vault tag, which I don't think is possible if you have the tag vault by, basically what it will do is remove cache 1000, and this is just in place so it removes the cache after this command has run, you know. And the final command is going to be /execute as a vault or by vault and @s run tag @s remove by vault, and that is just to remove the tag. And I'm going to show you guys me buying a vault. So when I press this button, it will buy a vault, it will TP me into my vault, I can exit the vault, and I can go over here to this button and it will TP me into my vault, I can exit the vault. And now if I do this command right here, and I remove myself with that stuff right there, and I do this one, I can buy this vault, and look what just happened, guys. Oh ho ho! Now the ceiling might get a little funky, but it's fine. You can just leave it. It's part of the design. You can say. But now there's more vaults, and you can't actually buy these because you don't own them. And you can TP you into your vault, and it doesn't TP you into the opposite vault. So if because this is your vault, but if you press this vault button, it will not TP you into that vault. It will TP you into this vault. So it's quite cool. And so now, if I just do this, kill these armor stands, it will reset the whole thing, and yeah, it's reset. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, guys, that's gonna end the tutorial right there. If you do want to download the world, it will be in the description. If you don't understand all this tutorial mojo stuff, or you just didn't understand it because I am terrible at explaining stuff, you can download the world in the description. And yeah, if you guys liked the video, I'd like to be appreciated, and subscribing mean the world to me. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. See ya. I can take you higher.